What's going on, my fellow Kino Lords? So, the first thing I'm just gonna come out and say is that my computer is currently not in a functionable state. So, this review is just gonna be completely unedited and completely raw. So, I'm gonna be doing my best to just give you my thoughts, in the most concise and nuanced way as possible. That being said, I just watched Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese. One of my very most anticipated films of the year. Obviously, Martin Scorsese is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers. I believe I put it in my top 5 favorite filmmakers of all time. Just love the guy, his passion for cinema, and just the art of filmmaking in general is just, I feel like, is unmatched with any current living filmmaker. I mean, the guy has done just so much, not only for the influence and the future of cinema, but just the preservation of cinema in general. So with that being said, I had pretty huge expectations going into this film. And look, guys, I mean, it's gonna be no surprise that I'm gonna sit here and tell you that this film is just incredible. I just really loved this film. I just found it so important, so impactful, and just tells, again, such an important story that needs to be told. I mean, this is a film that essentially is a conspiratorial film that is rooted in American history about, I mean, it's a fact-based story about how white men in power leached off of wealth of the Osage tribe and systematically killed them. I mean, this is an important story that I feel like was expressed in a very interesting, heartfelt, and just a very true and important way. This is a film that I feel like was doing its best to be as complex and as honest as possible. I mean, our main character, played by no other than Leonardo DiCaprio, his character, I mean, you basically hate him for such a long period. You basically hate him this whole movie, I'm not gonna lie. His character is just so, in so many ways, just so fucking vile, you can't stand him. And, at some points in this film, I was like, how long does Martin Scorsese expect me to just follow a main character that is in so many ways despicable? But I feel like as this film progresses, especially with what it progresses into, by the ending of this film and just its overall conclusion, I feel like it is important, and Leo's character builds into something that I feel like is rewarding, and also important for the history of this case. But that being said, I mean, in terms of performances, I honestly think Lily Gladstone steals the show here. She plays Molly, the Native American woman that Leo's character is married to in this film. And I've only seen Lily Gladstone, I believe, in Certain Women, directed by Kelly Reichardt. And I love Certain Women to death. And honestly, Gladstone's third act story in Certain Women was my favorite element of that film. But here in this film, she gives one of the most beautifully complex, subtle performances that I've ever seen in a film. I mean, she has moments where she is just gives overtly a great performance, but there are, the majority of this film, she is just so powerful and expressive in a very minimal way that I just really loved and felt compelled by and felt severely impacted by. And her character itself, in terms of thematically speaking and her personality, is just so beautiful. And I love that she is, in terms of the Native American characters in this film, she is she's the native character that has the most screen time and is a kind of focal point of all the native characters in this film, because she just represents such a loving and kind and gentle and forgiving characteristic of a human being that I feel like beautifully represents what should be a Native American on screen in Hollywood cinema. I just think that she's beautifully portrayed, beautifully written, and just loved her in this film overall. I just really, really loved seeing her in this film. I thought she was fantastic. And then you have Robert De Niro's character, who is just, I mean, Robert De Niro at such an old age is still such a force to be reckoned with, excuse me. He is like just diabolical in this film. He just plays such, again, in a very subtle way as well, just like one of the most subtle evil characters I've ever seen. And you know, I apologize if this review is getting spoilery by saying these things, but it really is like difficult talking about this film in a interesting and really like relevant way unless you're kind of discussing some of the meat of this film. But Robert De Niro's character and his performance, I mean, he fucking kills it in this film. He is fantastic. And again, like, I just feel like this is a film, it's 3 hours and 26 minutes. I mean, a lot of people watching this review already know that, but this is a very fucking long movie. I think this is longer than The Irishman, and I could be wrong, but this is a film that is, you know, for most people, incredibly long, and I feel like it's just so impressive that he was able to maintain my engagement for this long. I mean, pretty much all this film felt purposeful in some way. I mean, there are some, I guess, like some stretches in this film that I felt more interested in and more invested in than others, and that's honestly probably one of my only minor criticisms of it. But overall, I pretty much felt some level of engagement throughout the entire thing. For the vast majority of it, I just felt high engagement. Like, I was just like super zoned in and just was really on board with this very important story that Martin Scorsese was telling. And again, like, you know, I've heard some people say that, you know, the way that it kind of captures the kind of injustice towards Native Americans from white people is simplistic. Not that I fully disagree with that and think it's nonsense, but I feel like the way that this film went about telling that story is incredibly respectful, and regardless is a story that really needs to be told. And I never felt like, while I was watching this, that this film could have done more to relay its message. I always felt like every scene within its depiction of just the brutal injustices against the Osage tribe and just Native Americans in general, it always felt like it came from the heart, and it always felt like it was here for such a heavy purpose. And I just don't really agree with the take that that this film is simplistic. Because personally, I think this film has incredibly powerful moments. I think overall this film is incredibly powerful, and I'm just so grateful and just happy that I'm able to live in a timeline where you have Martin Scorsese, who doesn't even need to make films anymore. Like, he's already proven himself as an artist, and has proven himself as a filmmaker, and in every single way possible, as a human being even. And he's out making films like Killers of the Flower Moon that are just serve as important landmarks of cinema that express such, again, just very vital pieces of American history that need to be told, that like people really need to know about stuff like this. And I just think it's great. Personally, I think this film was fantastic. Pretty much all the performances are great. And again, I think that Scorsese is able to explore characters in a nuanced way. Even Leo's character. I mean, again, as I mentioned, Leo's character, in more ways than not, is fucked up, and there's just no way around it. But he's still able to make his character interesting and entertaining in certain ways, and then by its conclusion feel rewarding. And I commend him for that. And not to mention the ending of this film, like the last 7 minutes or so, is unique as hell. I mean, I'll just say it's very meta, and I was not expecting it. And at first, I was like, what exactly am I watching here? And why did Scorsese even do this? And then by the end of it, I was just blown away by it. I was like, I just love that Scorsese is taking risks in the way that he did with this film and this film's ending. And I was just flabbergasted in a way that, again, Martin Scorsese at his old age taking risks like this in such a unique and profound way that I just felt really impacted and inspired by. Scorsese, hats off to you. You're a wonderful artist and filmmaker, and I think it's beautiful that you were able to put together a film like this that is respectful, honest, and important to our history here in America, and most importantly towards the treatment of Native American people in this country. But yeah, this film overall is just about, I mean, essentially it is just about greed, and how no matter, even though you have a lot of money already, it doesn't matter. People are just fucking obsessed with money, especially white people, and they will just do anything, no matter how inhumane it might be, to secure their bag, and that's it. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but this film, it's a 3.5-hour movie. But it's going to take a lot of time for me to actually process this and give more of a nuanced interpretation of everything that I saw. But essentially, this film is about just capitalistic American culture, and just how obviously white people are embedded into that, and how just they are vultures, and how no matter again, humanity is out the fucking window. And wolves in sheep's clothing is a huge symbolic element of this film, to where they pretend that they're your best friend in the whole wide world, but obviously it is the exact opposite of that. And I don't know, I guess I guess I'll just stop there. But this is a film that I really loved, and I honestly cannot wait to watch it again. This is a film that has been on my mind ever since I left the theater, and I'm probably gonna be thinking about it for such a long time, and I can't wait to see it again. I mean, it's a really fucking long movie, but I cannot wait to see it again. Yeah, brilliant. It really is. So with that being said, I'll give Killers of the Flower Moon a soft 9 out of 10. I don't know if I feel 100% comfortable calling it a masterpiece right now, but it is a brilliant film. You know, who knows, upon rewatch, it could go up to that level. But right now, I'm going with a soft 9 out of 10. It's a wonderful film that everybody should watch. Yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. I'm gonna try to review more new movies. I know that I've been dead on this channel for such a long time, besides posting about my film and film festivals and stuff like that. But what I'm gonna try to do is just get in the habit of just watching a lot of new films, whether they're shitty or good. I was gonna try to watch a lot of the new releases that come out, and I think that would be something fun, not only for you guys, but for me as well. But that's it. You know, don't forget to tune into the Misfit Palm Film Festival. That's gonna be live streaming on Sunday, October 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be showcasing everybody's wonderful pieces of artwork. And then at the very end of that, I'm going to be premiering my own film, The Red Egg, at the very end of it, after I give awards and prizes and stuff like that. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this review. Thanks for sticking around this channel in general, even though I've been dead for a while. And yeah, don't forget to like this review if you really enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.